Hey there, this is Jonathan and today I'm gonna share my thoughts about some of the most stressful things I face as indie game developer. I've made games for the last 10 years now and you might think making games it's all fun and joy. Don't get me wrong, it is very fun and exciting, but I gotta admit that sometimes there's a lot of stress involved too. Let me tell you why. At the start of every project, I always come up with what I think are great and ambitious ideas, like new experimental game mechanics and a lot of content to be created for my games. Expectations at this stage are usually very high, but as development goes on, I find myself overworking and getting lost in small details, and that's when the anxiety kicks in. This is usually when I get the urge to deliver and being more goal-oriented at the cost of giving up some of my ambitious creative ideas. This is an eternal battle between making a living versus being creative and pursuing art. Balancing these two things is not easy. If I get too artsy, I stress over the feeling of not achieving much. And if I just get things done to make a living, I feel like life is too shallow and I'm missing out a lot of potential. I think with my latest game, Super Cattails 2, I maybe found a good balance between these two aspects. Releasing a game is another major source of stress. It's basically the moment of truth when all your work becomes available competing with many other games out there. Believe me, there's a lot of stress before and after a game launches. Before your game release, you gotta take a lot of key decisions, get a lot of promo stuff ready, and be sure everything is done correctly. And after your game release, there's basically an emotional roller coaster to deal with, getting overexcited and disappointed literally within minutes. I can tell you that after 10 years of making games, you never get used to that, as I've never had 2 game releases to go the same way. Let's face it, making games is now something many people do. There's a lot of tools and resources out there that help developers to speed up production a lot. More people making games means more competition, and more competition means more exciting challenges and sometimes more stress and anxiety to deal with. That's right, you gotta make sure you stay competitive. Look at the games other people are making, see what the latest trends are, learn new technology and stay up to date. After 10 years, I literally had to abandon the framework I had been using to make games and jump to Unity. Facing bugs and technical issues is another source of stress and something I had to deal with, especially when I started working as game developer. At the time, we were programming in C for the Nintendo DS and I was the newbie of the company. It was rather hard to keep the pace with the other programmers, and I had many weekends being spoiled by bugs I encountered on Friday. Still remember, the anxiety was always around the corner. This is a looming issue that I think about right before falling asleep. How long will I be able to make games? This is surely something I cannot predict right now. Making games is the job I love, and despite the stress and anxiety I sometimes face, I'm having a lot of fun working on my series Super Cattails. This is mostly thanks to you guys that play my games and follow my channel. Without you, I definitely wouldn't be able to do this right now. feel free to come have a chat at the Super Cattails Discord group. You'll find a link to the Discord group in the description down below. What I promise you is new adventures together and new Super Cattails games to play, even if this will mean facing some stress and anxiety sometimes. This is all for today. Thanks so much for watching, and Super Cattails for life.